Ladies and gentlemen, today, let's take a journey into one of the most profound treasures of wisdom and comfort that has stood the test of time, Psalm 34. This passage is more than just ancient poetry. It's a blueprint for navigating life's most difficult moments, a hidden reservoir of strength and assurance. We often read it and move on, but this psalm holds a depth we need to pause and uncover. Let me ask you this: what do you do when life blindsides you, when every effort falls short, when you feel like you're fighting battles on all sides? You see, in Psalm 34, we find words that address those very moments, offering us not just hope, but instruction, direction, and a source of genuine comfort. First, Psalm 34 opens with a reminder about praise. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Now, why would we praise in hard times? Because praise shifts our perspective. It takes us from a place of focusing on our problems to focusing on solutions. Praise isn't about ignoring your struggles. It's about reminding yourself of a power that's greater than any obstacle you'll face. When you commit to praise, you're saying, I'm not defined by this pain. I'm connected to something that can see me through it. Psalm 34 teaches us another powerful lesson: humility and surrender. It tells us that the brokenhearted and the crushed in spirit are closest to divine help. Let's think about that. We often feel that being broken is a state of weakness, something to escape as quickly as possible. But being broken in spirit doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're open. When we're humbled by life's challenges, we become teachable. We're positioned to grow, to gain insights we wouldn't have found in times of ease. Then there's a promise in this psalm, a promise that should change how we see every battle we face. It says, the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry. This is the assurance that every tear you shed, every word spoken in silence is heard. You may not see an instant solution, but there's a divine awareness of every pain you carry. This is the hidden comfort of Psalm 34. You are not alone in any struggle you face. You are seen. You are heard. And yet comfort doesn't mean the absence of trials. Psalm 34 doesn't tell us we'll never face adversity. In fact, it acknowledges that many are the afflictions of the righteous, but here's where the comfort deepens: the Lord delivers him out of them all. There is an end to the suffering, a promise of deliverance, and a path out of every difficulty. This doesn't mean you won't feel the sting of hardship. It means that hardship is not the final word in your story. The final message from this psalm is one of transformation. It's not just about surviving challenges, it's about what you become through them. It's about learning to walk with confidence, with resilience, and with an unshakable spirit. Because every trial brings a lesson. Every difficulty teaches endurance. And every heartbreak gives us a new level of empathy, wisdom, and strength. So let's look at Psalm 34, not just as words, but as a toolkit. Praise lifts us above the darkness. Humility opens us to receive insight. And patience in hardship develops in us a strength that no setback can destroy. You are never truly alone. You are never defeated. There is hidden comfort in every line of Psalm 34, a reminder that while the journey may be hard, it is purposeful. And through it all, we find that strength comes not from escaping our challenges, but from knowing we can rise above them. The power of praise in hard times is an often overlooked force that can shape, guide, and uplift us through the most challenging moments. When we find ourselves in the midst of hardship, our immediate instinct is to focus on the problem, to dwell on the uncertainty, the fear, or the anger that naturally comes with adversity. But praise is a conscious decision, a deliberate act that goes beyond our emotions, beyond our instinctual reactions, and allows us to engage with something higher. Choosing to praise when times are hard is not about denying reality or pretending everything is fine. Rather, it is about recognizing that while we may not have control over everything that happens, we can control how we respond. Praise lifts our spirit, shifts our perspective, and reminds us that there is something greater at work, even when we cannot see it clearly. In the moments when life weighs heavily on us, praise becomes a form of resistance against the pull of negativity and despair. It is a way of saying, I may be in this situation, but this situation does not define me. It empowers us to reclaim our sense of self and our outlook on life. Through praise, we connect to a sense of purpose that goes beyond the immediate challenges, reminding us that we are part of something far larger. This shift in focus allows us to see that while hardships may be inevitable, they are also temporary. The weight of a problem feels lighter when we acknowledge that it is only a chapter in a longer story. Praise helps us reframe our perspective, turning our gaze away from the problem and toward the possibilities for growth, resilience, and transformation. Praise also has a profound effect on our mental and emotional state. When we focus on the difficulties and setbacks, we begin to feel trapped, as if there is no escape. But when we choose praise, it is like opening a window in a dark room, allowing light to come flooding in. We begin to see things differently. We begin to feel a sense of hope. Hope may not provide immediate solutions, but it keeps us moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Praise reminds us that there is always a reason to hope, even when circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. It keeps our spirit strong, our mind clear, and our emotions balanced. Praise, therefore, becomes a mental discipline, a practice that teaches us to look beyond the surface and reach for a deeper understanding of life's experiences. One of the most remarkable aspects of praise is that it creates an atmosphere of peace in the midst of turmoil. When we praise, we are no longer fighting against our situation. Instead, we are surrendering to a greater sense of trust, a belief that there is a plan, even if we do not fully understand it. This surrender does not mean giving up. It means letting go of our need to control every outcome and accepting that there are forces at work beyond our comprehension. Praise fosters an inner peace that cannot be easily shaken, a peace that anchors us even when everything around us is uncertain. It is a peace that allows us to rest, to recharge, and to face each day with renewed strength and purpose. The power of praise also lies in its ability to shift our focus from what is lacking to what we already have. In times of hardship, it is easy to fall into the trap of scarcity thinking, where we see only what we do not have, what we have lost, or what we fear we may lose. Praise, however, refocuses our mind on gratitude. It reminds us of the blessings that still remain even in the darkest of times. It is a way of counting our blessings, of acknowledging the gifts that we often overlook or take for granted. When we begin to praise, we start to see that even though we may be going through difficult times, there are still things to be thankful for. We may still have our health, our family, our friends, or even the simple beauty of nature around us. This shift in focus can be profoundly empowering, as it reminds us that there is always something positive to hold on to. Furthermore, praise builds resilience. Life is filled with ups and downs, and the ability to endure through the tough times is essential for growth and progress. Praise strengthens our resilience by helping us develop an inner resourcefulness, a capacity to look beyond the immediate difficulties and keep moving forward. It is like building a muscle. The more we practice praise, the stronger our resilience becomes. When we praise, we remind ourselves that we have been through hard times before and have come out on the other side. This sense of continuity, this reminder of our past victories, gives us the strength to face current challenges with a sense of hope and determination. Praise then becomes a tool for building the mental and emotional fortitude needed to navigate life's inevitable challenges. Praise also creates a ripple effect that impacts those around us. Our attitude, whether positive or negative, has a direct influence on others. When we choose to praise in difficult times, we set an example for others to follow. We show them that it is possible to find strength and hope even when circumstances are less than ideal. This act of praising in adversity becomes a source of encouragement for others. They see our courage, our resilience, and our faith, and it inspires them to find similar strength within themselves. Praise, therefore, is not only an act of personal empowerment, but also an act of communal upliftment. It is a way of spreading hope and resilience, of creating an environment where others feel encouraged to persevere through their own challenges. The decision to praise in hard times is a profound act of faith. Faith is not just about believing when everything is going well. It is about holding on when things are difficult, when there are more questions than answers, more challenges than clear paths forward. Praise reinforces our faith by keeping us connected to a sense of purpose and meaning that transcends our immediate circumstances. It reminds us that there is a greater story unfolding, one in which our struggles are but a part. This perspective helps us to see our lives from a broader view, to understand that every experience, even the difficult ones, has a role to play in our growth and development. Praise, therefore, is an affirmation of faith, a declaration that we believe in something greater than the difficulties we face. In a very real sense, praise is an act of courage. It takes courage to look beyond the immediate challenges and choose to focus on the positive, to believe in a brighter future when everything around us seems uncertain. Praise calls us to rise above our circumstances, to refuse to be defined by our struggles. It empowers us to take control of our inner world, even when the outer world feels chaotic. This courage is not about denying the difficulty of the situation. It is about affirming that we have the strength to overcome it. Praise helps us tap into a wellspring of courage that we may not have even known existed within us. Another remarkable aspect of praise is that it renews our sense of joy. Joy is not the absence of suffering. It is the presence of something greater. It is the inner contentment that comes from knowing we are on a meaningful journey, one that is filled with opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. Praise rekindles this joy by reconnecting us with our sense of purpose, our sense of belonging, and our sense of hope. Even in the midst of hardship, praise helps us find moments of joy, moments where we can appreciate the beauty of life and the journey we are on. This joy becomes a source of strength, a wellspring of energy that sustains us even in the darkest times. Lastly, praise transforms our relationship with hardship itself. When we choose to praise, we begin to see our challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities. Opportunities for growth, for learning, for discovering strengths we didn't know we had. Praise helps us approach life with an open heart and mind, ready to learn from every experience. This transformation in perspective allows us to embrace life fully, to see every moment as a chance to grow and evolve. Humility and openness and brokenness are profound aspects of the human experience that, though often painful, are essential for personal growth, transformation, and understanding. When we encounter brokenness, whether it's through failure, loss, or hardship, there's a stripping away of illusions, securities, and comforts. In these moments, we are confronted with our vulnerabilities and limitations, the parts of us that we often keep hidden or try to avoid acknowledging. Yet, in the very act of facing our brokenness, we are given an invitation to cultivate humility and openness, two qualities that are seldom gained through ease but forged in the depths of struggle. Brokenness brings us to a point where we must confront the reality of who we are without the layers of achievement, status, or external validation. It is in these raw moments that humility begins to take root. True humility is not about diminishing ourselves or denying our worth. It's about seeing ourselves clearly and honestly. It's about recognizing our humanity, our need for growth, and our dependence on something greater than ourselves. When everything that once seemed solid begins to crumble, we are given the chance to let go of our pride, our ego, and our desire to control every aspect of life. In letting go, we open ourselves to a new way of being, one that acknowledges our place in the vastness of existence. We realize that we are not invincible, that we are not separate from others, and that we too need grace, compassion, and understanding. Openness, on the other hand, is the willingness to embrace what comes next, to accept the unknown, and to be receptive to new ways of thinking, feeling, and understanding. Brokenness teaches us openness because it dismantles our rigid ideas about how life should be and forces us to confront how life truly is. When our expectations are shattered, we are left with two choices: to close ourselves off in bitterness or to open ourselves up to the lessons that this experience may bring. Openness is about allowing ourselves to feel deeply, to experience the full spectrum of emotions without judgment or repression. It's about trusting that even in the midst of pain, there is something valuable to be gained, something that can contribute to our growth and understanding. Openness requires courage because it demands that we remain vulnerable and willing to adapt, even when every instinct tells us to protect ourselves and avoid further hurt. Humility and openness are intertwined in brokenness because both require us to surrender our pride, our need for certainty, and our desire to appear strong or unshakable. In brokenness, we are reminded of our limitations, not to humiliate us, but to ground us. We begin to see that we are part of a greater whole, that our lives are connected to the lives of others, and that our struggles are not unique but part of the shared human experience. This realization fosters empathy and compassion, qualities that can only truly flourish in a humble and open heart. When we see our own fragility, we begin to understand the fragility of others. We are less likely to judge, condemn, or compete, and more likely to support, encourage, and uplift. Brokenness breaks down the barriers that separate us, allowing us to connect on a deeper, more authentic level. In our brokenness, we often find that the things we once valued, status, success, perfection, begin to lose their hold on us. These pursuits, which may have seemed all important at one time, become less significant as we realize they cannot provide lasting fulfillment or meaning. Humility enables us to recognize that there is more to life than external achievements, and openness allows us to seek deeper, more enduring forms of contentment. We begin to search for purpose in ways that are not defined by worldly measures, but by a sense of alignment with our true selves, our values, and our connection to others. Brokenness pushes us to ask deeper questions, to reevaluate our priorities, and to seek fulfillment in places we may not have looked before. Humility and brokenness teaches us to accept help, something that many of us find challenging. In a culture that often equates self-sufficiency with strength, admitting our need for others can feel like a weakness. Yet it is precisely in accepting our limitations that we allow others to step in, to offer support, and to remind us that we are not alone. This act of receiving help is an act of humility, a recognition that we cannot always carry our burdens alone. Openness too plays a role here, as it requires us to trust, to let down our walls, and to accept that vulnerability is a part of human connection. In allowing others to help us, we not only receive the support we need, but also allow others to experience the joy of giving. Brokenness then becomes a catalyst for building deeper, more genuine relationships as it strips away the facades and allows for true connection. The journey through brokenness is often a journey inward. It is a time when we are called to examine our inner world, to confront the fears, insecurities, and wounds that we may have buried beneath layers of busyness or distraction. Humility enables us to look at ourselves honestly without the need to justify or hide. We come to terms with our past choices, our mistakes, and the aspects of ourselves that we may have tried to ignore. This process is not easy. It requires a willingness to sit with discomfort, to face the parts of ourselves that we would rather avoid. But in doing so, we begin to heal. We start to understand the patterns that have shaped our lives, the beliefs that have held us back, and the values that truly matter to us. Openness allows us to be gentle with ourselves during this process, to accept that growth is not always linear and that healing takes time. As we journey through brokenness with humility and openness, we begin to see that there is a purpose to our pain. This does not mean that suffering is necessary or desirable, but rather that it can serve as a teacher if we are willing to learn. We come to understand that brokenness can refine us, stripping away what is false and revealing what is true. It teaches us resilience, patience, and the ability to find beauty even in difficult circumstances. We learn to appreciate the small moments, the simple joys, and the acts of kindness that often go unnoticed. Humility helps us to see that we are not entitled to a life free from pain, and openness allows us to embrace life in all its complexity with gratitude for both the highs and the lows. Through brokenness, we gain wisdom, a wisdom that cannot be learned from books or lectures, but only through lived experience. This wisdom is rooted in empathy, for we now know what it is to struggle, to feel lost, and to search for meaning. It is a wisdom that teaches us to be patient with others, to recognize that everyone is on their own journey, and that kindness and compassion are far more valuable than judgment or criticism. Humility reminds us that we do not have all the answers, that life is a mystery beyond our full understanding, and openness keeps us receptive to new insights, new perspectives, and new ways of being. Brokenness has a way of transforming our priorities. What once seemed important may no longer hold the same weight, and what we may have taken for granted becomes precious. Humility allows us to see the world with fresh eyes, appreciating the beauty in ordinary moments and recognizing the value of simplicity. Openness invites us to let go of rigid expectations, to embrace uncertainty, and to find joy in the present moment. We become less concerned with impressing others and more focused on living authentically, aligned with our values and true to ourselves. In brokenness, we often experience a stripping away of illusions, the illusion of control, the illusion of certainty, and the illusion of invulnerability. These illusions can provide a false sense of security, but they also limit our growth. Humility allows us to release these illusions, to accept that life is unpredictable and that we are not immune to hardship. Openness enables us to embrace this unpredictability, to find peace in the midst of uncertainty, and to trust that even in the absence of clear answers, there is a purpose to our journey. As we navigate the challenges of brokenness with humility and openness, we begin to rebuild ourselves, not as we were before, but as a new, more resilient version of ourselves. This rebuilding is not about returning to a previous state, but about embracing transformation. We carry forward the lessons we have learned, the insights we have gained, and the strength we have discovered within ourselves. Brokenness then becomes not an end, but a beginning, a doorway to a deeper understanding of who we are and what truly matters. Through humility and openness, we emerge from brokenness not weaker, but stronger, not hardened, but more compassionate, ready to face the world with a heart that is both tender and resilient. The assurance of being seen and heard is a deep and powerful comfort that many people seek, often without even realizing how essential it is to the human experience. In a world that can sometimes feel isolating or overwhelming, the desire to know that someone is genuinely aware of our struggles, our efforts, and our dreams can be a lifeline. When we talk about being seen, we mean more than simply being looked at. We mean being truly recognized for who we are, beyond superficial appearances or roles. To be seen in this way is to be understood, accepted, and appreciated. And to be heard is more than just someone listening to our words. It's the acknowledgement of our voice, our thoughts, and our emotions, the validation that what we have to say matters and that our perspective is valued. This assurance has a profound impact on our lives, affecting our sense of identity, our confidence, and our resilience. To be seen and heard is to have our existence affirmed, to know that we are not invisible, that our lives have significance beyond what we may be able to see in the moment. This assurance brings comfort in times of difficulty, allowing us to find strength within ourselves to keep going. When we are seen and heard, We feel validated in our emotions, our pain, our joy, and our dreams. It's a reminder that our experiences are real, that our struggles matter, and that we are worthy of love and respect. The assurance of being seen and heard also fosters a sense of connection, as it reminds us that we are not alone. Many people go through life feeling as though they must bear their burdens in silence, that their pain or confusion is something to be hidden away. They might worry that no one would understand or that their struggles are too insignificant to share. But when we find that assurance, whether through relationships, community, or a deeper spiritual understanding, it breaks down those walls of isolation. It reminds us that we are part of a larger whole, a human family bound by shared experiences of hope, fear, joy, and pain. When we are truly seen and heard, we realize that our lives are intertwined with others, that our stories are part of a collective narrative, and that our presence impacts the world around us. In the moments when life feels overwhelming, the assurance of being seen and heard is like a beacon of light. It's the recognition that even in our darkest moments, we are not forgotten. There is something profoundly healing about this realization. When we believe that we are unseen or unheard, it's easy to fall into despair or doubt. We might begin to question our worth or to wonder if our lives hold any value. But when we know that we are seen, that someone or something recognizes our existence and cares about us, it restores our sense of purpose. We begin to understand that our lives are meaningful, that our struggles are part of a journey that others have walked before us, and that we are not left to face our challenges in solitude. This assurance is also a source of strength and resilience. When we face trials or adversity, knowing that we are seen and heard helps us to keep going, even when the path is difficult. It encourages us to reach within and find reserves of strength we may not have known we possessed. When we feel recognized, we are reminded that our struggles are acknowledged, that our efforts are noticed and noticed, and that our pain is understood. This validation gives us the courage to continue to rise above our challenges and to persevere. It instills within us the belief that we are capable, that we can overcome obstacles, and that we are worthy of support and encouragement. For many, this assurance is found in the relationships they build with others. Friends, family, and mentors often serve as the people who see and hear us, who stand by us in our times of need and celebrate with us in our moments of triumph. These connections are powerful as they provide us with a foundation of love and support that helps us navigate life's complexities. When we know that we are seen and heard by those we love, we are able to face challenges with a greater sense of security and confidence. This assurance acts as a buffer against life's difficulties, reminding us that no matter how challenging things may become, we have people who care for us, who understand us, and who are willing to stand by us. Yet the assurance of being seen and heard goes beyond just human relationships. For many, this sense of recognition comes from a deeper spiritual place. The belief that a higher power sees and hears us brings comfort and peace, especially in times when human understanding falls short. This sense of divine recognition reminds us that we are not alone in the universe, that our lives have a purpose, and that our experiences are known and valued. In moments of solitude or despair, this assurance can be the grounding force that keeps us moving forward. It reminds us that there is meaning in our lives, even when we cannot yet see it, and that we are guided by something greater than ourselves. This assurance can also inspire us to become more compassionate and empathetic toward others. When we understand the power of being seen and heard, we begin to recognize how important it is to offer that same assurance to those around us. We realize that just as we desire acknowledgement and understanding, so do others. This realization encourages us to listen more deeply, to observe more carefully, and to extend empathy to those who may feel unseen or unheard. We become more attuned to the needs of others, more willing to reach out and offer support, and more dedicated to fostering an environment where everyone feels valued. In this way, the assurance of being seen and heard becomes a force that radiates outward. As we receive this comfort and validation, we are inspired to give it to others, creating a ripple effect of compassion and understanding. Each time we take a moment to truly see or hear someone else, we are contributing to a world where people feel connected, valued, and understood. This sense of mutual recognition can transform communities as it fosters trust, unity, and a sense of belonging. The assurance of being seen and heard also invites us to look within ourselves and recognize our own needs and desires. Often we look to others for validation, seeking confirmation that we matter. But as we come to understand the power of recognition, we learn that part of this process involves seeing and hearing ourselves. This self-awareness is a crucial aspect of growth, as it enables us to understand our own worth, our own strengths, and our own potential. We learn to honor our own experiences, to validate our own emotions, and to trust in our own journey. In doing so, we become more resilient, more confident, and more grounded in who we are. This assurance teaches us that we are part of something larger, that our lives are interconnected with the lives of others, and that our existence has a ripple effect on the world. We begin to understand that our actions, our words, and even our thoughts matter as they contribute to the collective experience of humanity. Knowing that we are seen and heard reminds us that our choices have significance, that our contributions are valuable, and that we are capable of making a positive impact. This realization inspires us to live with intention, to pursue our goals with purpose, and to approach each day with a sense of gratitude and responsibility. The assurance of being seen and heard is a profound reminder of our worth. It tells us that we are valued, that we are not invisible, and that our lives have meaning. It empowers us to live authentically, to embrace our unique journey, and to face life's challenges with courage. This assurance is a source of hope, a reminder that even in moments of difficulty, there is a purpose to our experiences and a reason for our struggles. It encourages us to keep going, to believe in ourselves, and to trust that we are on a path that is meaningful and significant. Ultimately, the assurance of being seen and heard brings peace. It reassures us that we are not alone, that we are part of a larger story, and that our presence in this world is intentional. This peace allows us to let go of fear and doubt, to embrace the unknown with confidence, and to move forward with a sense of joy and purpose. It is a comfort that transcends words, a reminder that we are known, loved, and valued in ways that we may not always fully understand. And in this assurance, we find the strength to face each day with an open heart and a resilient spirit, knowing that we are seen, we are heard, and we are never truly alone. Transformation through trials is a concept that resonates deeply with the core of human experience. Life presents each of us with challenges, obstacles, and setbacks, many of which seem to come when we are least prepared for them. In these difficult moments, it can feel as if we are being tested beyond our limits, pushed to the very edge of what we believe we can bear. Yet it is within these very trials that transformation often occurs, reshaping us in ways we may not immediately understand, but that ultimately bring about growth, resilience, and a stronger sense of purpose. Trials are unique in that they strip away the layers of comfort and security that we often rely on. When life is going smoothly, it's easy to become attached to the patterns, routines, and identities that provide a sense of stability. But when a trial disrupts our sense of normalcy, it forces us to confront the deeper aspects of ourselves that we may have ignored or avoided. These moments of discomfort, although painful, are crucial because they reveal aspects of our character that would otherwise remain hidden. Trials challenge us to look inward, to examine our beliefs, our fears, and our desires. They prompt us to question who we are and what we stand for, and in doing so, they lay the groundwork for genuine transformation. Transformation through trials doesn't happen overnight. It is a gradual process that requires patience, perseverance, and an openness to change. In the midst of a trial, we may feel lost, overwhelmed, or even hopeless. It's natural to experience these emotions as we grapple with the challenges before us. But as we navigate these difficult times, we begin to discover strengths and capabilities within ourselves that we may not have known existed. We start to develop resilience, learning how to adapt to new circumstances and find solutions to problems we never anticipated. This resilience is a vital part of the transformative process as it enables us to move forward even when the path is uncertain. One of the most powerful aspects of transformation through trials is the way it reshapes our perspective. Trials often force us to reevaluate our priorities, to consider what truly matters to us. In times of hardship, the trivial concerns that once occupied our minds fade away, leaving room for deeper introspection. We begin to appreciate the value of things we may have taken for granted: our relationships, our health, our time. This shift in perspective is a fundamental part of transformation, as it allows us to see life through a new lens, one that is grounded in gratitude, compassion, and humility. In facing trials, we also come to understand the importance of surrender. Often we go through life trying to control every aspect of our circumstances, believing that we can avoid pain or difficulty if we just plan carefully enough. But trials remind us that some things are beyond our control, that life is unpredictable and sometimes unfair. This realization can be frightening, but it also holds a profound lesson: the importance of letting go. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. Rather, it involves accepting that we cannot control everything and learning to trust in the process. This surrender is transformative because it teaches us to release our need for certainty, to embrace the unknown, and to find peace within ourselves, even when the world around us is chaotic. Trials also foster empathy and compassion, qualities that are essential for personal growth and transformation. When we go through difficult times, we gain a first-hand understanding of what it feels like to struggle, to face loss, to feel vulnerable. This understanding makes us more compassionate toward others who may be experiencing similar challenges. We become less quick to judge, more willing to listen, and more eager to extend a helping hand. This empathy is one of the gifts that trials bestow upon us, a reminder that we are all connected, that we share common experiences of pain and joy, and that we have a responsibility to support one another. Through our own trials, we become better equipped to serve others, to offer comfort, and to be a source of strength for those who need it. Another crucial aspect of transformation through trials is the development of inner strength. In times of difficulty, we often discover that we are capable of more than we initially believed. The challenges that seemed insurmountable at first gradually become manageable as we adapt and find new ways to cope. Each trial teaches us a lesson, helping us build a foundation of resilience and self-confidence. Over time, we begin to trust in our ability to overcome adversity, knowing that we have faced challenges before and emerged stronger. This inner strength is invaluable as it prepares us for future trials, enabling us to approach life's uncertainties with courage and determination. Transformation through trials also deepens our sense of purpose. When we are confronted with hardship, we are forced to consider what we truly want out of life, what goals are worth pursuing, and what values are worth holding on to. Trials strip away the superficial and bring us face to face with our core beliefs and aspirations. This process of introspection allows us to clarify our purpose, to set meaningful intentions, and to align our actions with our values. We begin to live with greater authenticity, no longer swayed by societal expectations or external pressures. Instead, we become guided by an inner sense of purpose, a vision that is shaped by our experiences and strengthened by our resilience. Through trials, we also learn to appreciate the process of growth itself. Transformation is rarely easy or comfortable. It often involves pain, sacrifice, and uncertainty. But as we move through this process, we begin to see the beauty in the journey. We start to value the lessons we've learned, the strength we've gained, and the person we've become. This appreciation for growth allows us to embrace future challenges with a sense of curiosity and openness. Instead of fearing hardship, we begin to see it as an opportunity for transformation, a chance to become more of who we are meant to be. In addition, trials remind us of the importance of hope. In times of struggle, hope is often the force that keeps us moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Hope is the belief that better days are ahead, that our efforts are not in vain, and that we have the strength to overcome whatever challenges come our way. This hope is a powerful motivator, inspiring us to keep going even when we feel like giving up. It is a reminder that transformation is possible, that we are capable of change, and that our lives have meaning beyond the present moment. The experience of transformation through trials is also deeply humbling. When we face hardship, we come to realize that we are not invincible, that we may have limitations, and that we are vulnerable. This humility is essential as it helps us approach life with a sense of gratitude and respect. We begin to appreciate the simple joys, the small victories, and the support of those around us. This humility allows us to connect more deeply with others, to let go of ego, and to approach life with a sense of reverence and awe. It teaches us that life is a gift, one that is precious and worth cherishing even in times of difficulty. Through transformation, trials also reveal the power of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to recover, and to continue moving forward despite adversity. Each trial strengthens our resilience, teaching us how to navigate setbacks with grace and determination. Over time, we become more adaptable, more resourceful, and more confident in our ability to handle whatever life throws our way. This resilience is a testament to the human spirit, a reminder that we are capable of enduring hardship and that our capacity for growth is limitless. Ultimately, transformation through trials is a journey of self-discovery. It is an opportunity to learn more about who we are, what we believe, and what we are capable of. Trials reveal our true character, stripping away pretense and showing us the strength, compassion, and wisdom that reside within us. Through this process, we come to understand that we are more than our circumstances, that our worth is not defined by external success or failure, and that our potential for growth is boundless. Transformation through trials is a reminder that life is a continual process of becoming, a journey that is shaped by both joy and sorrow, triumph and hardship. It teaches us that each experience, no matter how challenging, has something to offer, a lesson to impart, or a strength to impart, or a strength to develop. Through trials, we learn to trust in the process, to believe in our own resilience, and to embrace the journey of growth with courage and gratitude. It is this journey that shapes us, refines us, and ultimately brings us closer to the person we are meant to be.